Hello marketers, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at A-B testing. A-B testing is a form of experimentation where you go through and you create two or more different versions of the same ad. You run these ads and you see which one consumers respond best to. Maybe it's in terms of having more engagement, maybe it's in terms of having more clicks through to your website, or ideally going through and actually seeing more conversions. The whole idea is sort of like the Matrix, where you have the blue pill and the red pill, except you don't have to choose one. You get to go through and actually run both ads, or even more than two ads, and see which one results in better results for your client. If you love experimenting, if you've done it before in your life, or just always had a sort of an experimental vibe, this is a great way to test out different assumptions and ideas you might have about your audience and what they might respond best to. It's really, really important and something that marketers and businesses in general are doing more and more of in the future. Here's a great article from Harvard Business Review that goes through and summarizes some of the key things about A/B testing and also talks about some really neat examples. If you have a chance, I suggest you pop in and take a look at it. What's really interesting about A/B testing as well is that even though you might only see small differences on any individual ad test that you run, if you compound and learn from those results over time, you can see very dramatic differences. So 2% here and there can add up to potentially 30, 40, 50% differences over time. A/B testing is not a new concept. This is something that advertisers have been doing for decades. Here's an example of two different covers of a catalog. You could imagine if you were that marketer going through and creating these two different covers, sending them out to different areas and seeing which one results in more sales. Really, really powerful. You could do the same thing by going through and testing out different types of promotions as well too. Maybe you send one group a 10% coupon and the other group a 20% coupon. If there's no difference, then going forward, give away the 10% coupon if it's equally effective because of the fact that you're saving margin. If you find out that 20% is way more effective, perhaps it's worth having that extra, margin loss there just to get more customers coming in and buying from you. The Obama campaign was famous for going through and doing great A/B testing. They tried out different subject headings, different ads, and they tested those before sending them out to larger audiences. The idea there was to find out what people really wanted to hear and what they would react to. For example, they tested out one subject line, "I will be outspent," and another one, "the one thing the polls got right." And they tested that to see which one would likely result in more donations to their campaign. What do you think? Which one would do better? "I will be outspent" or "the one thing the polls got right"? Surprisingly, "I will be outspent" had almost $2.6 million in donations, whereas "the one thing the polls got right" only about 400,000. Imagine if they didn't run that first option and just went with the second that wasn't as effective. Why do you want to go through an A/B test? Couple different reasons. First one, you could find out which ads are more effective. This is obviously super important for either saving money or getting more bang for your buck, so to speak, out of the exact same ad. Another really cool thing to do is it can help resolve internal debates you might have or you might have within your team. Maybe you're unsure of which particular photo is going to react or be reacted to better by consumers. Or maybe within your team, one person wants to do one version of copy and the other one wants to do something else. Try them both and see which one works out better. Another really important thing as well too is you might find that there are kinks in your consumer decision journey. Maybe you find that you're really good at getting people excited about your new company or your cause, but you're not as good at getting them to actually engage and click through to the website. You could then purposely try and go through and A/B test different ways of trying to improve that link to get more clicks, even after people maybe have gone through and already followed your account or already reacted to and watched your videos. Finally, other really important thing as well is maybe you have a client who's a bit reluctant to try out new things. A/B testing can be a really easy way of getting your client to potentially come on board. You don't have to spend an entire campaign on a new idea, but you can instead just spend a small part of that budget to test out something new and see how that might perform. A/B testing is really something you want to infuse into all of your marketing so you can be constantly learning about your consumers and constantly trying out different tools and ways of communicating with them. So, as an example, let's imagine these two different ads. Let's say that one of these performs better. and receives more clicks, say 28 versus 17. Looking at these two ads, how do you know exactly what was responsible? What differences do you see between these two different ads that were run? What you're going to notice is that there's actually more than one thing that's different between these two ads. Rather than varying just one thing, these ads actually vary two things. They vary both the copy, the text in the actual caption, and they also vary the creative or the photos that are used. What this means is you as a marketer don't know which of these different things was driving those higher clicks. Was it the photo being different, or was it the text, the copy? All you know is that together, that one particular ad set, the text and the photo, resulted in more clicks. A much better way of doing this would be to go through and actually just test one thing at a time. So rather than changing the image and the text, just change out the images. And then maybe run a separate test to test out the different text as well too. That's going to be able to tell you which one of those different things was actually driving that better result. So the first key thing for running A/B tests is to make sure that you only change up one thing at a time. And that's going to make your test really clear, and you can see exactly what's driving any differences you see in results.